Hello students, I am Dr. Sangeeta Singh from JDV Government Girls College Kota. I am going to teach you General English for BSc Part 1. Hello students, once again we are here for a class. Today for a change I am going to teach you something from the grammar portion of our syllabus. Guess what? Yes, it is comprehension of an unseen passage. Comprehension of an unseen passage. Meaning of comprehension here. Point first, to fully understand the content of the passage. The first point means you have to understand what the content is about. Second, to grasp the meaning of the passage. The next point, this one, means what does the passage convey to you. Understanding the unseen passage. Point number 1. First read the passage with a quick look. This will give you an idea of the passage. This first point means the first reading is a cursory or a rapid one. Second, then read it carefully. Now you will be able to see whether it is non-fiction or a narrative. It means that you have to figure out whether this is a story type or essay type material. Third point, if you find some words that you are unaware of, then don't be troubled by this. This third point means that you don't have to be stressed if you don't know the meaning of some words. You should not think these words are tough. Fourth point, try to find out the meaning of the passage through the sense prevailing in the sentences. By this time, you can try to get the meaning of the passage through the sense, emotion, thought, content of the passage. Solving the questions. If by this time you are confident that you are able to solve more than half the questions, go ahead and start reading the questions. If not, then read the passage for the third time. Next point, if you are unable to understand the question, you can either give yourself some time to interpret the demand of the question and then start answering, or you can jump to the next question depending on the time limit left for you. These 2 points are in fact tips about how to start solving the questions. Types of the questions. In our university, questions are multiple choice objective questions. So, there is more flexibility in attempting the answer in this type of patterns. Means you have 4 options, namely A, B, C, D, and you have to choose one correct out of them. Somewhere else there may be italicized words in the passage to be solved. Only giving other words in place of the italicized words will not be enough. You will have to explain the meaning depending on the nature of the questions. You will be getting an OMR sheet for answering each question, carries 2 marks. I will suggest about this slide that you may have the answer option in single word or a clause or half sentence or a small sentence like fragment. Now we should see how to find the answers. Generally, you will have one or two or more catchwords in the question itself. But if you cannot understand the question, then take help of the question word who, when, where, how, what, etc. For example, in our first chapter, we can see the question, what was the name of Gangu's beloved? So the answer is Gomti. Next point, this will make you grasp the demand of the questions as well as the catchwords will easily give you the idea of the portion where the answer is lying. By catchwords here I mean the words or phrases that are repeated in the questions or the passage. Suitability of the answer. Next point is suitability of the answer. In a multiple choice based question paper, you don't have choice to express your answer in detail. Therefore, you have to pick the correct answer only that seems to you the most suitable one. So, read the options twice, thrice if you are facing difficulty. Methods of choosing the correct answers. The first method is selection method. In this, if you are very much sure of a particular answer, then you can choose it. The next method is rejection method. If you are not sure, then start rejecting from the most improbable option. This may also help reaching the correct option. For example, if you think option D is more or most inappropriate or inaccurate, then discard it first. Then choose the probable incorrect answer once again. Now you have two options left for you to choose between, and you can solve the question like this. Some of the students face problems of confusion. Then what should they do? Here is the solution. What to do in the state of confusion? Point number 1, just apply comparing method and you will be able to filter out the incorrect out of the two options. Next point, if you have enough time, read the question again and go to the hinting portion of the passage again, and you may be able to crack the correct option. This slide means that you have to read that concerning portion while answering that question. Title. Providing a title is not a difficult work if the student has understood the passage thoroughly. Sometimes a question is asked about the title. So, if the passage is non-fiction, generally this indicates a theme. You can provide a theme-based title, a central idea of the passage. If this passage is about history or about an incident or a piece of fiction, then choose the name of the incident or story, just like this. Here is an example. Jallianwala Bagh Massacre, Asahayog Andolan, Ramu's tip for Goa, etc. Finishing up. Revise the answers. This will clear your mistakes. If you had given a wrong option in objective type, You can remove and give the correct alphabet. Revision may help in striking something which you had skipped in haste. So, here are some tips for finishing up your passage. For your help, I have got a passage from a question paper of 2016. I will read it out for your convenience. Tagore was a man of extraordinary vision and progressive thinking. Spiritualism and rationalism were reconciled in Tagore. He had the visionary power of seeing the future in the seeds of the present events. In his book, Nationalism, published in 1916, Tagore expressed his concerns about the dangers of religious fanaticism and racism, which caused the most destructive wars in the history of the world. He was a seer who foresaw the destructive and dangerous effect of science and technologies on man and nature. Machines, he had predicted, would dominate man and destroy the beauty of nature and fine human qualities. Tagore's prophecies have to a great extent come true. Now, this is the next part of the passage. The basic difference between the West and the East was clearly perceived by Tagore. Materialism characterizes the Western civilization, whereas the East is dominated by spiritualism. Tagore had known and prophesied it. However, he was optimistic of the mutual cultural enrichment through the association between the West and the East. Another important quality of Tagore as a thinker was revealed in his crusade against many superstitious beliefs of the Indians. He spoke out against caste discriminations which divided the Indian society. It required courage, intellectual as well as spiritual, to fight against the age-old customs such as child marriage and casteism. All this was possible because he was a thinker who thought and acted ahead of his own time. Now, these two fragments are from the same passage, same unseen passage. Now, we will have questions and answers. I read out the first sentence. First question. Tagore had the visionary power to see the future in option A, the seeds of the present events, option B, Western civilization, C, literary and social works, D, his books. This is the first question, but it does not necessarily has its answer in the first sentence. We see that the phrase, I quote, had the visionary power to see the future in, I unquote. This phrase is clearly taken out and repeated as it is from the third line of the passage. So you can easily get the answer, and that is the answer number 1A, the seeds of the present events. Now the next question. Tagore expressed his concerns about the dangers of religious fanaticism and racism in his book. Option 1, A, materialism, option B, nationalism, C, racism, and D, casteism. So this next question has been framed from the next sentence of the passage, and the name of the book has been asked here, which is given in the fourth line of the passage. So the answer is clear cut B, nationalism. So these two answers are derived easily from selection method. As I had said, you need not fear the tough words which are new to you. Here in the very first sentence you can see spiritualism and rationalism. These are two new words. So you should not be afraid of new words and you should not be stressed about these things. These are three sample questions. The third and last question. Tagore clearly perceived the basic difference between option number 1 A. Child marriage and casteism. B. Progressive thinking and spirituality. C. Culture and tradition. D. The West and the East. If you are confused about this third question, you can go to the word difference in the passage and see what does it say to you, and you will find the answer there. Even then, if you find it difficult, you can use rejection method and reject the first three options and then get the answer. That's the East and the West, means the answer number 4D. So like this, adopting these methods and tips, you can attempt the unseen passage. Thanks and take care till the next video.